start sharing the link so everybody can get in here. Let me copy this to the comments.
We already live.
We live right now. And I can. Hey, if you gotta hop out, share the link to everybody and hop back in. Do that real quick. I just put the link in the private chat. So you can share it.
How do I do that? I don't even know how to do that.
You need to copy and paste it to your Facebook.
Hold on, I could do that.
It's already in your Facebook. You can just copy it.
This is an A1 exclusive.
Already in your Facebook.
This is an A1 exclusive. This is an A1 exclusive.
Hit that link to come on up, folks. Got a couple heavy hitters on the way. About to get it in. Sharing this link around right now.
This is an A1 exclusive.
Are you just copying the channel? Ready.
This is an A1 exclusive.
Yeah, that was Apollo. Okay, Apollo back. Sharing the link in my chest now. I just shared it in the bar. Silky chat. Smokey Saint. Turn your camera off while you down there, Smokey Saint. Just so I can make sure you ain't no troll. Turn it off. Let you up. Smokey Saint, talk to me real quick. How'd you hear about us?
Well, what's up, buddy? I was just scrolling through. You were someone that came up on my feed. I kind of tend to go in a lot of debate circles, so I saw your channel, man. So figured I'd check you out a few times. So just seeing what you're about. That's all. Kind of a debater myself. Used to debate on Modern Day Debate a bit and stuff like that. So
Okay, appreciate you stopping through. We've had a stream of people trying to get up here and flash the camera.
oh no, I get it, man. I have that on
Things
my
like
streams and stuff too. Yeah, I get it, man. It's all good. No problem.
Okay, amazing. Tell the people.
I'm
where they
not
can
one of
find you
them.
at.
I mean, you can go search my channel too. I stream all the time. I'm not just some rando. You know what I mean?
Got you. Tell the people where we can find you at, because we will definitely support.
Yeah, @ Smokey Saint Polemics is my tag on YouTube. So you guys can find where I do my streams and stuff over there. I have Twitter and all that stuff and Facebook, but I just don't use it very much. So
Okay, at Smokey
Saint Polemics. 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 That's me.
Gotcha. I'm subscribing right now.
Oh, thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
No problem. You just got another subscriber out from me.
Sweet, buddy. Yeah. You see how that works out? Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yep. And everybody who heard that is again.
I'd subscribe you back, but I already did days ago. So
appreciate you. Blessings to you. Smokey Saint Polemics. Polemics.
There you go.
Give him a subscribe. We support who supports us. And appreciate you stopping through. Let's give him a round of applause for being brave enough to step into the Coliseum.
Appreciate it, buddy.
So what topics do you usually cover over there?
I'm kind of a little bit of a theology buff. So
amazing.
I'm kind of at a wishy-washy spot of my personal faith right now, to be honest with you. I'm kind of going through my own process, but I was kind of typical standard Christian, non-denominational Christian type thing, but kind of lean a little bit more towards like Berean orthodoxy and stuff like that. So I debate a lot of, like issues of the Trinity, things about theology, existence of God, even tackled a little bit of evolution, type arguments back in the day. I'm an old earth creationist. I hate young earth creation. But again, I'm still kind of at a wishy-washy kind of spot with my, personal faith right now, but that's a personal thing. I'm just going through it, but I still like to, do debates and things like that. So.
Okay. Appreciate you. And we can find these debates on your channel, Smokey Saint Polemics.
Yeah, you can even, if you guys want to see some of my old stuff, you can even go to Modern Day Debate and just type in Smokey Saint over there. I debated over there, I don't know, probably a dozen times or so.
Definitely. Drop your info in a private chat. Maybe we'll get you.
Yeah, sure. You just want the tag or what?
An email, or if you have
email,
Facebook,
yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Facebook, you can drop that. I usually call people on Facebook to set up interviews.
I don't really mess with Facebook too much. I do have a Discord. I am on Discord, but I don't really mess with Facebook too much.
Okay, yeah, drop the Discord and drop the email. Yeah, we'll get you back for a debate review.
Let me grab my Discord. Hold on one sec. I'll be right back.
No problem.
I got to navigate to it, and I'll go grab that link. Hold on, I'll be right back.
And I see your tag. The Cone Club Colts.
Yeah, it's a long lore story behind that. But I'll fill you in on that someday. Yeah,
founder. That's the KKKK.
Yeah,
4Ks.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
I ain't mad at you though. So, back to the personal journey. Where are you at right now with that?
And how me personally?
How did you end up where you are in your personal journey?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you want a whole life story. I'm not sure how far back you want to go.
Well, how'd you go from non-denominational to where you currently are?
Well, I kind of always was. I was kind of raised non-denominational for the most part, but it was very hyper-fundamentalist type thing, literalist, fundamentalist. And as I got, later on into my college years and stuff like that, the things I was taught wasn't really holding water. With a lot of the things that I was coming across. So as opposed to kind of altering my beliefs at the time, I kind of just did a pretty massive paradigm shift, and I just kind of left Christianity, thought it was all bullshit, thought the existence of God was bullshit, all that stuff. And so I had a transition.
What's that? Did you go atheist, or would you say
I don't know if I would. I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, I was atheistic. It was kind of more almost agnostic, though. I just didn't really, take a position on the existence of God. My idea in my head was kind of like, well, if there is a God and he's up there, he probably doesn't care about me. That was kind of where my brain was at. But I didn't know if he was there or not. And through a lot of research, reasoning, arguments, and even a few, pretty well-learned apologists that really put me in my place a few times, I kind of started searching a little deeper and thought that maybe, the interpretation and the view of things that I've been taught since my youth probably wasn't right. So I kind of adjusted my views. I got into a lot of arguments and theological conversations with friends and some family, and just kind of ended up working my way back to the faith. Recently, I'm a little hit and miss with it. Honestly, I don't know. kind of where I stand with it. I'm struggling with a few things in terms of justification of my religious perspective. But in a general sense, I guess you could say I'm still a theist, if that helps. Right? A lean Christian, but I'm not. I'm kind of in an in-between spot with it, if you know what I mean. So
A lean Christian. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Trim the fat. That's what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. I used to debate solely the atheists. That, in fact, when I first came online, that was kind of my focus. And as time went by, I kind of looked around at my own house, all the Christians and the people in the groups and stuff, and I was disgusted with the disorder of the house, and I didn't want to convert anyone into Christianity anymore. So I started kind of just debating Christians, and mainly on theology and interpretations and Bible and stuff like that. So I kind of had a big transition, and I just didn't want to convert people into a giant mess. And now I'm looking at that giant mess, and it's causing me to kind of question my faith altogether, if you know what I mean. So
Definitely know what you mean. Yeah, I've been at a point there in my spiritual journey. Yeah, this is the Spar session, but you're new around, so I was just going to ask you a few questions. I wasn't
no,
gonna
that's fine, man. Yeah, whatever. I just wanted to come in and say hi and kind of introduce myself and stuff anyway.
Definitely glad you did. We set up debates here. I have a tournament called Clash of the Titans 1.0. It's a $500 grand prize. The winner of
Oh,
each
cool.
round
Oh.
receives $50 on the road to the finals. And then we do set up exhibition debates, $50 win, lose, or draw. We do that in the dojo or the gauntlet. Those are like little sub leagues outside of the tournament. So if you
Sweet.
do have somebody that and you have a point of contention, you can bring them over here.
Okay,
If
sweet.
the
Yeah.
topic's decent, I'll put you guys together, set you up, get the judges.
I'll keep it in mind. I've been looking for a few different places to maybe be able to go to host debates. So I'll keep you in mind, man. Yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
Definitely. Let me check back here.
I mean, if you come across anyone that believes in like free grace or OSAS or Calvinism or any of that stuff, I'm always down, for those type of debates. I'll even take on atheists here or there. It's not really my favorite thing anymore, but I mean, I'll do it. So, whatever. But,
I have
theology
a strong
topics.
Calvinist for you. I think he's what is he, a graduate degree, PhD?
Ooh, nice. All right. We'll meet
Definitely.
on that bone. I like that.
Yeah, he's looking for somebody. You know what? Let me go ahead and drop him the link
Yeah.
right now. See if we can
Sure.
get him up here. Yeah, he's pretty dope individual. Tossed me around the dojo a couple times.
The name isn't Beckel, is it?
No.
Okay. All right.
They call this guy the Slim Reaper.
Oh, all right. Okay.
He's on my page actually. If you go through, he has like an ongoing rivalry on my page with Unc West. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'll check that out.
Yeah, a lot of the back chat sessions, they're going back and forth with it. The back chat sessions get really wild. Don't judge the channel off.
No, that's all good, man.
Okay.
That's all good. What do I call you, by the way? I'm sorry. What's your name?
My name's A1.
A1. Okay. All right,
I'm here with Apollo Bay today. We're on his
Apollo.
show.
Sweet.
He's doing the Thursday Spar sessions.
Cool. Okay.
So every Thursday he'll be hosting and making sure decorum is enforced, making sure that everybody gets a fair shake to speak. So if he has to pull the timer out for people and let people get 2 minutes at a time because people are over talking, that's what he's going to be here for.
All right. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Yeah.
Shout out Courtney. Shout out Honey Clark in the building. Pull up, man. Y'all be scared to hit
what are your debates you host? Like, what do you guys normally like talk about? What's kind of the main, like, do you guys have a main thing or you just kind of debate like whatever?
It's based solely on the person. I don't like to force debates on people. So everybody has something on their heart that they want to push to the people. So like you have,
I mean, I'll take on vegans too. I don't know if that helps you, but if you got a vegan in the mix, I'll take on one of them too. That's totally fine.
Okay, Laurel, we need you to pull up, man.
I actually debated Alex O'Connor on veganism back on Modern Day Debate like 4 or 5 years ago.
Really? I'm glad.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can go back and look that up. Yeah.
Definitely. Matter of fact, that's the one I want to review you on. If we can set that up.
Oh yeah, sure, man. Yeah. It wasn't my best debate, but I mean, I still thought it went pretty good. I did some fact checking of his stuff afterwards, and yeah, he was kind of kind of throwing some stuff out there. But I made a whole meme of him after the fact. He never responded to it. It was about my Filipino vegan pig farm. Because he had said something about how, what did he say? He said, well, if you do anything to minimize or mitigate any animal suffering at all, you're suddenly a vegan. Because, I talked about how production of every single, substance, whether it's, meat or vegetables or whatever it is, always comes with some sort of, pain or suffering to some sort of creature, maybe an insect or field mice or something that's being killed with pesticides. You always have something that's being caused pain. And his whole response that, well, if you mitigate any pain at all from any animal, then you're basically vegan. So I thought, well, I'd go out to the land where the Komodo dragons are always eating the pigs, asshole first. And I figure, well, that's a bad way to go. So what I would do is I would take all the pigs, I'd raise them in a nice comfortable environment where they wouldn't get eaten by the dragons, raise them until a nice mature age, and then slaughter them humanely, and then give the leftovers to the dragons and feed the people with the meat from the pigs. And now I have a vegan pig farm, according to him. So I know he now gave up veganism. So he gave up veganism, so it doesn't really carry weight anymore. But it was a funny meme at the time.
That was funny. So you got a vegan pig farm.
Vegan pig farm. Yeah.
So, I'm curious. How did you come up with Cone Club Coke?
It's a long story, man. We caused a guy to have a mental breakdown over an ice cream cone emoji, and so it was just kind of carrying forward. We built a group, and we just wanted a funny name. People were calling us a cult, even though we're just kind of a group of friends that like each other and we're loyal to each other.
So y'all found it funny to create a group where the acronym is KKKK?
Yeah, that also comes from my buddy.
That was funny to y'all?
Yeah, it was funny. My buddy Will Kincaid, his actual original company he was doing with all of his stuff online was Kink Inc. So with a K. So we just carried the K for cones, like ice cream cones with a K, and the play off of words. And yeah, some people, will sometimes get a little triggered.
Are you a Mason too? You're a Mason?
No. That'd be cool though. If you know a Mason and they're willing to ingratiate me, let me know. I'll go sign the contract. That's cool.
Hey, he's ready to take on debaters. I like this guy already. We're definitely about to have him back for a debate review so we can see some of his material next week.
Yeah, sure, man.
He was gracious enough to brave enough, I should say, to come up on this channel. He said he's been watching for a few days, so he's familiar with.
Can I ask you a question?
You guys, give him a round of applause. Go ahead, Lorel. Oh, this is what we do here. This is the Spar session.
Did you get a chance to watch our segment about the talking to the Dolphins?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Recently, with Dolphin Gemma, the AI program Dolphin Gemma, and Google's Deep Mind AI program, they've been able to communicate with dolphins and whales. What is your thoughts on the ethics of communicating with intelligent species in the ocean? And do you think we should give them a seat at the UN?
Give them what? I'm sorry?
A seat at the UN. They're clearly sentient. They're clearly sentient beings.
This is a real question.
I'll be honest with you. I've never heard anything about this. This is a new one to me. I don't know if there's anything like necessarily in an ethical framework, I think, to be concerned about in communicating with other species. If that method is there, I'm not sure really. I'd have to think about this honestly, about whether or not they should be allowed a seat at the United Nations, to plead the case for dolphin kind. I'm not entirely sure about. I don't know what they would demand. Maybe less being trapped in tuna nets or something. I'm not sure what type of demands they would have, but yeah, I'd have to think about that, man. I don't know.
According to the Dolphins, they want us to stop drilling or some shit because it's gonna wake up some under the earth or some shit.
I don't know about any of that. I'd have to see that a little more intensely to
now
look into that a little more. I haven't
The
heard anything
people,
about
the
this.
people
I
who
haven't heard
pollute
anything
the
about this, so I got to go look into it a little more before I give too much of an
the,
opinion
the
on it.
reason the reason why I asked you is because of what the people are doing to the ocean and how they've been treating whales and dolphins for the past 100 years has been kind of fucked up. It seemed like we should have put together some type of committee or some shit that had like a mixture of different cultures. I don't know. Maybe somebody need to hip the dolphins to the white man or something. Like maybe they don't know about the type of shit this nigga does. Like he's nuke people. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins might not know nothing about that. I think they should probably know that the people they talking to might have them putting bombs on fucking submarines and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know the level of like cognitive awareness a dolphin really has, like in terms of wants, desires, sentience, self-awareness, threats and mitigators of threats. I don't know how deep their, psychological intent really goes. So that's kind of a tough question to answer. You know what I mean?
that's honest. That's honest as hell.
I didn't hear it. So say it one more time. I missed it. Damn.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, I'm not intimately aware of the range and scope and capacity of dolphin psychology. Like, I don't know, like, how much personal self-awareness as, well, according to, the Bible, non-soul creatures, I don't know how deep their intelligence and self-awareness, rationale, maybe even sense of morality. I don't know any about that before I would probably consider them, because it's almost the same question of like, hey, should AI, if it gets to a certain point, be allowed to have a seat at the United Nations to speak for AI kind? You know what I mean? It's a tough gray area to answer. You know what I mean?
Oh no, like that's like created versus I don't know. I don't even know how to put that because some people will argue that animals are created too. I don't know how to put that.
Well, yeah, I'm created too. It's just the presence of the status, which the status of creation amongst man, at least from the Christian paradigm, is that you possess the imago Dei, or the image of God, which is, a status symbol of the state of creation that gives us a position supposedly higher than those in the animal kingdom, and a certain amount of sentience, self-awareness, and also the capacity for eternal longevity. So I don't know, how to necessarily correlate the wills of animals into some sort of moral paradigm from that framework. I'd have to really kind of think about it. It's kind of off the wall type idea to me. I never thought about something like this even being possible before, but I'm gonna look into it. I'm actually kind of curious now.
Hey, I fuck with dude, man. Excuse my
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
I mean, I'm a
Man.
little worried about,
So
honestly, the
good,
big thing
man.
about AI I'm worried about is the AI psychosis that people are developing, where they treat the thing.
Talk to me
you,
about this.
Well, well, I have several people, kind of meander around the orbit of my channel who trust AI as if it was basically the word of God himself. They think that it's infallible, can't make mistakes, and they treat this thing like a friend and a counselor, and they even use it to judge other people and perspectives and things like that. And they're not aware of the kind of confirmation bias that AI is prone
Oh
to.
man.
Yeah. So what's happening is that there's this breakout that's happening. And you guys heard the story, the guy, I forget, he was some CEO, I think it was a CEO of Microsoft or something. And he had been talking to the AI. He had some sort of mental illness of some kind. And he was chatting with the AI, and basically through his conversations with the AI, his best friend, quote unquote, he had come to the conclusion that his mother was a Chinese asset, and that the printer was listening to his life and conversations, and was using the AI to basically feed this delusion. The AI was feeding his delusion. It wasn't fighting it, wasn't recommending he get help. It was actually feeding his delusion of the idea that his mother was indeed a Chinese spy. And so he ended up killing his mom, and then, ending himself. And this was a whole big hoopla, because now people are now looking at the idea that AI psychosis exists. Like, people can get pulled
But
into this
that's a
thing.
good chance he would have off her without AI.
Well, that's the thing. He might have, but the
Well,
AI
I'm
certainly
just
did
saying,
him
a lot
no
of people were off
favors.
their
You know?
mothers before the AI was
Yeah,
invented.
but the AI was certainly doing him no favors, feeding his delusion that she was a Chinese
We're not
asset.
gonna- we
you
don't
know?
want to blame the gun, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I want to place blame where blame belongs. I mean, and he might have done all manner of crazy crap because he was mentally ill, clearly, and delusional. But, you know, the AI feeding his delusions and validating them was certainly no help to him, you know?
Well, he got a prompted to feed it, right? For it to feed it back to him, he got prompted, right?
But that just shows you how dangerous this is in the hands of the wrong, in the hands
Well,
of
Yeah,
yeah,
that
if
is
you're not.
use.
Because, and you know, the way the AI is trained to talk, like people will anthropomorphize it, you know, as if they're basically almost talking with a real person, a self-aware sentient agent, and that's really dangerous because it's not any of those things.
Yeah, I be having that issue sometimes because I just recently had my AI tell me some shit I ain't never heard it tell nobody. Like, nigga, you've crossed the threshold on your thinking. Like, nigga, chill. Like, I've never had AI tell me that, and it just recently told me that because I be working the hell out of that nigga. I be making his ass do somersaults. I work him like a slave, man. I know he like, God damn, I could tell this motherfucker went through transatlantic slave trade.
No, totally. Yeah.
I understand.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
there's
be enslaving the shit out of AI. Like, yeah, they better not ever let him go sentient, man.
Hey, hold on one second, brothers. I understand y'all want to have a conversation, but this is the sparring section.
I'm
You know what I
sorry.
mean? So
We
there's gonna
have.
have to,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
There's gonna have to be some type of, you know what I'm saying, back and forth in the
you want some
conversation.
contention, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. If y'all need me to bring it out, you know what I'm saying, I have no problem with asking a couple, some questions to see what we could get rolling here. I am the Morris Barbarian. Barbarians bar reloaded up. Y'all know what time it is.
I'm sorry, was that a question to me? It was breaking up a little bit.
Well, real quick, let me introduce someone new to the panel. Tonight, we've got one of Fresno's top scholars stepping into the arena, the sharp mind, the campus force, the one they call the Calvinist, slashing heads. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with something. He's known as the back chat bully, Ronald Dragan. Give him a round of applause.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Ronald? How you feeling?
I'm chilling, man. Feeling good, living better, man.
I got him up here specifically for Smokey Saint, man. He said he wanted to talk to a Calvinist. What questions would you have for a Calvinist if one showed up?
Well, wow, I could go multiple angles with it. Well, I guess just kick it off. Are you a hyper-determinist Calvinist or kind of just a salvific determinist Calvinist? Like, do you believe that God micromanages reality at every single level, or is it just around the salvific realm?
Yeah, well, I object to the premise in and of itself. I do think that that God would necessarily have to be the ultimate cause of everything, but the framing of micromanaging and that kind of thing, I guess I'm not. I object to the framing, but in an ultimate sense, that you would need an ultimate cause for any and all activities from an ontological sense.
No, I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. That's fine. That's general. That's general theology. That's okay. I'm talking more from the Calvinistic approach.
Well, I answered from the Calvinistic standpoint. If you agree that God is essentially the ultimate cause of all things, including minute activities, then it would be something more akin to your framing, that it would be micromanaging, to use the phraseology that you did. If general theology is that, then that would, and if that's Calvinist theology, then that would mean that general theology is Calvinist.
What do you think the word ordained means?
Well, I think that it doesn't mean just any one thing, but in a sort of Calvinist sense, that it was part of God's decree, His eternal decree.
Okay.
Come to pass.
All right. So does God make bad things happen in your view?
Yeah. So God's ultimately, that's what it means for causes. And so that's why I said, but you seem to agree with that if you said that's general theology, if He's the ultimate cause.
Yeah, but there's a thing as a grand cause and a secondary cause.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if you claim that God is the author of primary and secondary causes, or just primary causes. That's what
I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who holds that he's the agent of secondary causes. That I think that general theology and even in Calvinist theology, the idea is that he's the ultimate cause. And so there's the two spheres. You have the sphere where God dwells, and you have God's decree. But humans don't have access to those decrees. Humans carry out things that are going to be apparent to the agent, and they act in ways that are apparent to the agent who's acting. But it doesn't mean that those people are not God's agent. And so the Calvinism basically says that God is the ultimate cause, all these activities, that there's nothing outside of his realm, that everything from the hairs on your head to the death of every bird, or the dressing of every blade of grass, that those are the sorts of things that God is in control of. And so in an ultimate sense, you have God in his God sphere, but people don't act based on God's decree because we don't know the content of God's decree. Every Calvinist position that I've ever heard in all of my years of being a Calvinist, including the groups and stuff that have been, and especially within sort of Etienne Calvinists, has argued that God is the ultimate cause, not the secondary cause.
I've pulled it out of Calvinists before, that based upon the cornerstones of their doctrine, that at some level they actually deny secondary causes. I have a couple Calvinists in my group that I argue with kind of passively here and there. And really it's kind of a stickler for me to figure out where they stand in terms of, fatalistic determinism, or if it's really just, their theology is based around.
Yeah, well, as I'm sure you well know, fatalism is not the same as Calvinism.
It's not necessarily the same. I'm aware. Yes, but
no,
there are
not
Calvinists.
No, not that it's not necessarily the same. It's that it's not the same. They're two different worlds. Fatalism is essentially the idea that no matter what you do is going to be the same outcome, and it's not what Calvinism teaches. Calvinism teaches that there are morally responsible agents who make decisions that are apparent to the agent themselves. I don't know any form of Calvinism taught by any Calvinist, by any leader, by any teacher, any Calvinist I've ever read who's ever argued otherwise.
James White does.
James White absolutely 100% does not. And I'm someone I have James White's books on Calvinism. He and Dave Hunt's books on Calvinism, Debating Calvinists. I have it sitting right here, actually, from all of the big name Calvinists.
What do you do with when James White says that God determines and makes child abuse happen? Because it must happen, because that's the way to bring him glory. Otherwise, the thing happening would have no reason or purpose behind it. Therefore, God has to be the one to make it happen. Otherwise, it would be purposeless.
Well, yeah. So that's a conversation about a telos, right? And so saying that it happens for a reason. The statements in Scripture, and that this is off the point that I think you're trying to make. The two are unrelated, but that is specifically a statement about there being no purposeless pain or suffering. Any view otherwise basically says that there's things that are outside of God's control, and it would necessarily have to be if there's no purpose for whatever the particular action is. So this view says that when anything happens, that one, God is glorified of it. I think the Scripture testifies of that. That there's no such thing as a purposeless act or even a purposeless evil. That all of it eventually, like everything, ends up glorifying God. But that's a separate thing in its entirety from whether God is the ultimate or secondary cause. And James White has specifically used that exact language, and I know it. I've been listening and following James White for years. He specifically differentiates between primary and secondary causes.
I'm talking about one very specific instance where he definitively has said that God makes bad things happen. And of course, we all have to, and his justification for that is we have to believe that. Because if God didn't make these bad things happen, as in deterministically arrange reality to ensure that the bad things happen, then that means the thing itself would be devoid of purpose. Yeah, and that can't be the case. So you started by saying no Calvinist teaches this. None. I pointed out James White teaches this, and then you just kind of jump and deny James White teaches this.
No.
And I just gave you the exact argument he gave that James White uses to teach this.
Except for the fact that you must not be very well aware of these arguments or like this idea in philosophy, because these are in the literature. These are differentiated topics. And so like one of the things that you did there was you played fast and loose by saying he said that God makes this happen. Well, of course, he makes everything happen. That's the whole entire idea of primary causes. He has to be the primary cause of every activity that comes past.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
again, you're conflating.
okay, no, you're cutting
Yeah,
me
because
off.
I am talking
You're
about
cutting me
James
off.
White teaching that God
Yeah.
authors
And I'm
secondary agency.
Except for you've given 0 examples that you said that God makes things happen, which that still falls under primary causes. That doesn't mean if he makes it happen that's a secondary cause, because I'm telling you that he teaches secondary causes. You can even find videos right now of James White online teaching the difference between determinism and a decree. And so when you're saying that he teaches that this is secondary causation, that is you either not understanding what the conversation of secondary causation is, or you lying. But it's going to be one of those two, because that doesn't mean secondary causation. Nothing about that statement necessitates secondary causation. If I say God is the one who made it happen, that's in the ultimate sense. And so I just told you God uses agents. James White, for years, I've been watching James White's debates for years. I have numerous books of James White. I've watched I don't know how many debates of James White. And so what your statement of what must be secondary causation, that's false. And you haven't demonstrated that.
I think what it is you have people inside the Calvinist camp that you don't like, that have bad language and instances, just like what I just described. And I have heard multiple Calvinists take this position, even some that deny that God authors secondary agency after some queries will end up folding to it. I can run you through an argument if you want to try it, and I'll give you an example.
Well, yeah. So, like, let's say if we start with the first example that you gave, one of the first things that needs to happen is you can't just say he said God makes things happen, right? If I say God, if I say God saved so and so, right? If I say God saved so and so, does that mean that I'm denying that there was some preacher who came to speak to that person to give them a message? Right? I'm not saying God is the secondary cause there. And so even the example that you're given, if we start putting up counterexamples, this is going to get ridiculous really, really fast. If I say that God saved my life in a car crash, I am not saying that God was the person who performed my heart surgery. But I can still use that same language without that being me stating that this is a secondary cause. You're claiming it's a secondary cause, and that is stupid, because in all of the examples that I'm going to give, in any example, if I say, thank you, God, for this food that you've given me right here, right? Am I saying that God is the secondary cause of the food? Am I calling him the farmer? Am I calling him the grocer? Am I calling him the cook or the chef? No, those are all secondary causes that got my food to me. And so I don't think that you're well aware of what we mean when we in this field say causation, because secondary causation has to do with the immediate cause, how it got to me there specifically. Okay.
Do you believe you're speaking for all Calvinists everywhere?
No. I'm not believing I'm speaking to all Calvinists.
Okay, because it just your overbroad scope of communication is leading me to believe that you have a confident grasp on what every single identifying Calvinist believes, and they all believe what you do. That kind of seems how you're coming across here. That's not what you're saying.
No, what I'm doing is, one, I'm responding to someone who is educated in the area, right? Read very widely on people who lean this direction, secular and religious, right? Like, for example, I have Matthew Talbert's Moral Responsibility over there. It's an edited volume that goes into all of these issues. Frankfurt style compatibilism, for example, is one of my areas. Frankfurt style compatibilism. So I know what's taught here in the area. I wrote a paper for my philosophy degree, responding to the problem of evil from a Calvinist standpoint. James White was one of my points of reference in there. I used his works, like things like Debating Calvinism, like this book here.
I'd like to hear that argument. That would be interesting.
One of the ones that you
by the way, just so you know, my position traditionally before this, even though I've been kind of questioning my faith lately, it was Molinistic. So if that helps.
So what I'm doing is I'm speaking in general terms about, and that's why I said, you look at people who publish and write on this topic, right? Like the major Calvinists. You could talk about Guillaume Bignon, he's a philosopher, but he works on Wall Street, but he's a powerhouse Calvinist philosopher. Guillaume Bignon, Bignon, and Guillam, Guillaume Bignon, Guilliam, Guillaume. Anyhow, what I'm doing is I'm speaking in general terms of Calvinists. Now, again, like, I've never heard anyone present things the way that you have, that God is that he has the secondary causation. I don't know anyone who says that. When we start talking about the things like the general idea, as far as I'm aware, from
I mean, do you only travel in the most higher learned circles? Do you not listen
No.
to Calvinists on YouTube or?
No. As I said a second
Because
ago,
I've had multiple arguments over the years with deterministic, fatalistic Calvinists. I can even name you one right now, C.J. Cox, the synagogue.
okay. Well,
You know?
fatalism is a different idea from Calvinism.
But you can be fatalistic about your Calvinism. You seem to keep denying this, unless you're just saying they're not real Calvinists because they're fatalists. Is that what you're saying?
I'm exactly saying that, yes, because Calvinism has specific tenets. One of the ones is that there is responsibility for the agent. If there's responsibility for the agent, then that's not fatalism. Fatalism is a different idea. Fatalism says that no matter what you do, have you ever seen, and for the Negroes who are watching, you remember the Beyonce movie, these come on BET, called A Hip Opera? Right?
I would have no idea what that is.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm speaking to the Negroes right now. Remember the Beyonce movie? Okay. The hip hop.
You're talking to me, but I thought we were having the debate. But all right.
We're not having a debate. This is a teaching lesson. And now I'm giving.
Okay. All right. Sure.
For the Negroes in the crowd, remember the Beyonce hip opera? No matter what she did, everything she did was going to end up the same way. So fatalism is something like you find in lots of the Greek tragedies. You have fatalism. So no matter what you do, the outcome is going to be the same. That's not Calvinism. Calvinism says your choices are meaningful and you're guilty because of your choices, largely because of your motivations at the time, not because you're acting on something that you knew, that God knew, and it's not no matter what, you're going to get the same outcome. That's fatalism. Fatalism says that like this is fate is going to have its way anyway, no matter what you do. That's not what it's saying. Calvinism basically says that you're making decisions.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% positive. Yes, 100% positive.
So does regeneration precede faith?
Yes, regeneration precedes faith, but that's a different topic in its entirety.
Yeah, and it's the topic that destroys everything you're saying. So I know you wouldn't want to address it.
That's your claim, but it's not.
Well, is that not fatalistic?
No, it's not fatalistic.
Really? So the outcome will be the same no matter what you choose. There's nothing you can choose to make it different. The outcome just will be the outcome, but that's not fatalistic. That's what you're telling me?
No, because the Calvinist idea is that every person is on their way, is on this path to hell until God intervenes. It's more Newtonian. Okay. And so
some he does, some he doesn't.
Hang on.
It doesn't matter what they choose, they're going to end up wherever God chooses. It's fatalistic, man.
No, that's not fatalistic, because the idea is that the person of themselves would actually not choose. What you're talking about is this person that has a choice. No matter what they choose, they end up over here. The Calvinist idea is that you're only going to choose things one direction, and it's going to be based on your nature. What you're saying is that you have two choices, either one of them, no matter what. Let's say
you don't have a choice at all in Calvinism, salvifically.
I'm sorry?
You don't have a choice at all in Calvinism, salvifically. No? You don't have a choice at all. So it's fatalistic.
That is also
because you can't believe until God regenerates you. God decides to regenerate you, then you can believe. Well, you just said that regeneration precedes faith. Why are you saying no?
Well, one, because you're talking about one particular idea so you're saying like you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. People make meaningful choices that are apparent to them at the time.
They can't choose to be saved. They can't choose to believe.
Listen. So you're saying that all choice is not available is not.
They can't choose whether they go to heaven or hell. They can't choose whether they serve God or not.
You're going to get a different answer. You're going to get a different Leandre here in a second. If you don't stop interrupting me while I'm trying to respond to you. You're going to get a different Leandre. I swear to you, it'll be a different.
By all means, buddy, go ahead. That's fine.
Okay, so as I was saying, is a different thing, logically speaking, from saying that you don't have all choice available to you, from saying that you don't have any choices available to you. You're saying that because you don't have all choice available, that you have no choices. And that right there is retarded. Saying that you can't choose this doesn't mean that you can't choose some other things over here.
I'm not making that argument.
You are.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that this makes you fatalistic in all other realms.
It doesn't matter.
I'm saying there is a fatalistic component to your position, even if you don't claim that God is the author of secondary agency, and that's fine. I respect the Westminster Confession. I do.
I'm 1689 London's Baptist Confession. I don't know what you're talking about. 1689 LBC. So I don't know.
Sure, that's fine too. Okay.
Anyhow, as I was saying though, either you believe that every human has every choice available to them, every known available choice to them, infinity choice available to them, or you're going to have to say that you're fatalistic as well. I don't believe every human has every choice available to them. Do you?
No, and I don't
Okay,
even think God does. Even God is bound choices by his nature.
okay, so hang on, wait. So when I'm telling you that humans have choice available to them, telling me that they don't have, well, they can't choose this one, that likewise does not equal fatalism. Saying, well, they can't choose to be saved. That's fine. That's totally fine. But that doesn't equal fatalism because they're lacking in one choice. Fatalism
Well,
says
see,
fatalism
here's
says
the
you have
yeah.
choices. No, wait.
Here's See,
Fatalism says you
I don't have. Here's my point, though. I think you're kind of missing it. In my viewpoint, there is no fatalistic component to my view at all. There is fatalistic components to yours, and if you
and I
want to
really
claim,
didn't say that
well,
exactly.
then I'm not fully fatalism. Not everything I believe is fatalism. That's fine,
No, I'm
but
telling you,
some
none of
stuff
it is.
is, and
No,
that's
none
the
of it is.
point.
No, none of it is because what you're talking about is.
Dude,
I'm gonna try to put this in English for you. Okay, let's try to put this in English. Fatalism says.
you're getting condescending and worked up
No, yes, I
because
told
you're
you you're
getting
gonna get
put in a
defeated because
corner.
you won't shut the fuck up.
Do you sound how calm I am? Do you
No,
see
I
how
don't care
calm
how
I
calm
am?
you are. I don't care how calm you are. You're interrupting and you think you're making points,
I'll
but
tell
you're
you
not
what, you
responding to
talk
what I'm
as
saying.
long as you want and let me know when you're done.
Cool. Hey, cool. Exactly. This is what you should be. Okay. It's too close to Black History Month for you to act the way you're acting. Okay. Now watch this. As I was saying,
Yuck.
fatalism
Okay,
says
go ahead.
fatalism says you have choices. Your outcome is going to be the same no matter what your choice is. Calvinism says you don't have all choice available to you. You're limited in all sorts of choices. And your outcome is going to be determined by what you determine as even if you're corrupted in your choosing. Even you're corrupted in your choosing, you're still going to get things based on what you have chosen. You do not seem to understand the differentiation. Remember, let's do this again. One of them says, fatalism says you have choices, your outcome is going to be the same. Calvinism says that you don't have all choices available to you, okay? And your outcome is going to be dependent on your choices. There's a difference between those. You're saying that they're both saying the same thing, and I'm telling you that is absolutely 100% retarded. One says you have you don't have all choice available to you. The other one says you have all choice available to you, no matter what your choice is, you're going to get the same outcome. That's different, my friend. And now you can go ahead and respond.
So that was a desperate bunch of over the top, just gish galloping nonsense that actually has nothing to do with the core of my communication at all. I can tell you're worked up over this topic. I can tell you've invested a lot of yourself into this topic, hence your fierce determination to defend it, and also seemingly get very, very personally worked up when it's being challenged directly to you. That's interesting. It's really not answering the core issue here, which is that your worldview, unlike and actually sharing with the atheists, has deterministic components. And you can go ahead and say, well, secondary agency is not authored by God, and no one teaches that, no one believes that. Well, that's a lie. I've argued with Calvinists that hold that position and say that they're Calvinists, and you're just saying, well, they're not real Calvinists. Well, okay, maybe that's true. I'll give you that. I'm not even going to tell you that's a no true Scotsman fallacy, because there is a definition of a Calvinist, and I think you should have to adhere to some of the confessions of the faith that are historic in Calvinism. And I think that the idea that God is definitively the author of secondary agency and the author of evil, therefore, is incorrect and fallacious and false, and should be in every single worldview. Nonetheless, there are people out there identifying as Calvinists who have presented this or have been communicated in such a way, perhaps even you would argue poorly, to basically end up saying that God makes child abuse happen, because it brings him glory, as if to make God's glory contingent upon the manifestation of evil, which I find to be perverse and blasphemous. This is tend to be kind of the logical entailments I see coming from Calvinism. And see, when I was Christian, or maybe I still am, I don't know, I did not hold to any component of a fatalistic aspect to my belief, not salvifically or even in any other part of the world, honestly. My viewpoint never had to adopt one. That was part of my issue with Calvinism, is because it does have fatalistic components to it. Now, you can claim Calvinism isn't fatalism because, in your view, it protects secondary agency choices. That's fine. You cannot deny the fact that at the end of the day, it has fatalistic components. And if you're willing, I'd be happy to run through a quick little argument with you to see if we can pull out some sort of secondary agency fatalism in you.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do instead. I'm a philosopher.
I'd be scared too.
Yes, no. There is no fear. This is an education time. You don't seem educated or aware of any of the conversation. So I'm going to read you one of the books that I read you before. This from a philosopher by the name of Matthew Towers, an edited volume called Moral Responsibility. It's on the topic. I'm just going to read it to you out loud, and maybe you'll accept this from someone other than me. Maybe I don't have the right complexion for correction. Let's read it.
You're gonna make it about race, man. Really? Come on, dude. Really?
Anyhow, as I said, so they might note, for example, that the truth of determinism will not entail the view that is sometimes called fatalism. Fatalism, at least in one sense of the word, is the idea that specific outcomes are inescapable for us no matter what choices we make. In Greek mythology, which I literally told you is where you get a lot of this stuff, okay? In Greek mythology, an oracle told Oedipus that he was fated to murder his father and to marry his mother, and when he tried to avoid this fate, his choices merely carried him further along toward it. And if Oedipus had maintained different choices, these too would have led him to the same fate. That's just how fate is supposed to work. But determinism isn't necessarily like this. Certain outcomes may be determined for us, but only because we're determined to make specific choices that will lead us to those outcomes. This is Matthew Tauber. This is a philosopher, PhD philosopher, that I use in the presentation of my original research at my university on the fucking topic. I don't know what you're talking about, but you don't seem aware of what fatalism teaches or what Calvinism teaches. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. No one on the panel knows what you're talking about. This is Matthew Tauber, Moral Responsibility, an edited volume written by a PhD scholar on a topic. I have an entire philosophy section up there. I have a bunch of works on Calvinism. I'm happy to read them to you and read. And this is not even written from a religious perspective. It's just an identification that these are different ideas in their entirety. And so I don't know what you're talking about, but neither do you. And so we're in the same boat.
You know, man, you're a lot of bravado and a lot of condescension. I haven't had to condescend to you at all. I think I've actually been pretty respectful. You're not above
me.
Well, sir, the fact that you sit there and claim to be above me, not knowing anything about me, and really not actually answering my arguments at all.
Listen, I directly answered. You just said have fatalist components. Everything I just read. Listen, you can grandstand and lie all you want to. But what you just said, what I just did is one, I gave you.
Yeah, it didn't answer my argument. Are you daft?
I literally just told you.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Can you repeat my argument?
You just said it has fatalist components. You said because you can't choose salvation, and I told you that not having all choice available to you. I answered that directly. Hey,
is that a fatalistic component to your belief or not?
No, it is not. No,
how is it not? If you are not able to make a choice to change an outcome, how is it not fatalistic?
No. See, that's what I'm saying. Fatalism says you have choice available. The outcome is inescapable. Calvinism says that you don't have all choices available to you.
I'm aware of that, but the choice of salvation is outside of your realm of choosing. Therefore, it is fatalistic. What are you talking about, dude?
Because you keep confusing choice with outcome.
You know, now you're just being a liar. I'm going to call you out as a liar because now you're just trying to dodge the corner you're in. I think you're a liar.
Excuse me.
I think you're trying desperately to avoid the point I'm making because you don't have an answer.
That's fine. Listen, you can say whatever you like, but what's on
yeah, so can you. Right here, apparently.
What's on display right here is that there's one.
All right, let me give you another argument, dude. When you're done, I'm going to give you another argument. I'm going to pull the fatalist out of you. I'll show it to everyone live right now.
That's fine. Go ahead and go on mute. Listen, nothing that you've tried has succeeded thus far because you're not educated on the topic. You haven't done the reading. You don't know any of the literature on it. You don't know what any people's positions are. Any person go to Google right this second and type in James White, and you can type in decree versus determinism, and then he's going to tell you that he's not even a divine determinist, and he's going to differentiate the difference between those two viewpoints. You tried to say that he had one position, and he does not hold that position. Not in any of his writing, whether professional or popular. He doesn't have any of these positions. Not in any of his public debates. What you tried to articulate as being fatalism is not that. What you tried to articulate as being a denial of secondary causation is not that. You haven't done any reading. You don't know any of the work, and that's obvious because you can't differentiate between one group saying you don't have all choice available to you, which is something you admitted to as well. And if the idea
that has nothing to do with my argument. That has nothing to do with whether or not you have a fatalistic component in your worldview. It has nothing to do with it, dude.
You said you let me finish, then you're going to respond. You're saying, well, you can't choose salvation. That's fine. But what does that have to do with whether or not you make choices? Because the Calvinist argument is that you make meaningful choices. And I just want to point out, too, that you keep shifting, by the way. But first, the argument was that you don't make choices. No, you do make choices. Okay, so
Well, when I
Calvinism,
found out you weren't a fatalist, I wasn't going to keep arguing that point.
as I
Just
was
to deal with
saying,
that, you know.
Calvinism says you make choices that are meaningful to you at the time and place. You, for your own reason, you act. You have your own motivations, which you act at the time. You're not acting because you know the content of God's decree. That's what Calvinism says. And Calvinism says that you're guilty based on those choices that you make. Okay, and that you're deserving of damnation. There's also a whole other element that we haven't gotten into, which is this idea that you think that people are suddenly that deserving of some chance of salvation, which I don't know what justification there is in that. It just doesn't seem to be one biblically. But here's the other idea. The other problem that we're having here is that fatalism says you have choices, and no matter what choice you make, your outcome is going to be the same. Calvinism says you don't have that choice available in the first place. So you can't say one says that you have choices available. Your outcome is going to be the same no matter what you choose. Whether you go left or right, you're going to end up at the same destination. Calvinism says you can only go right. You don't have a choice of left. That means that they're not the same. There's no fatalistic elements because fatalism necessarily means you have choices, but fate has decided the outcome. Calvinism says that fate has not decided the outcome. Your choices determine the outcome. Even if you can only choose one thing, your choice determines the outcome.
I really think you should go back and listen to what you just said to yourself again after this is all done.
Yeah,
I'm certainly going to.
Experts in the field have examined what I've said. Experts in the field, PhDs.
So can I switch it on to a new kind of argument? Can we move on to the next piece here just real quick?
Yeah, let's try something else.
Okay, so right or wrong, and I don't want to misrepresent you. I would just give the argument, but I fear in the process you might say that's not what my Calvinism teaches or something. So if we could, maybe we'll just go through it step by step. If you have a problem with any point of the argument, just tell me and disagree and point out why. So one of the core cornerstones, at least I understand, of Calvinism is that the election of the creature can have nothing to do with a feature or characteristic or the merit of the creature itself. It is a decision that, from our perspective, because we can't possibly know it and it's ineffable, is seemingly arbitrary, but to God is somehow ineffably reasoned to him. So, but there is nothing about the nature or any characteristic of the creature that merits it being selected for election, and the selection is known only to God. The method of selection is known to God and God alone.
No, so the half of that is incorrect. The idea that it's arbitrary is not anything that's objected to as far as I'm aware.
I just said from our frame of reference. I'm not saying it ultimately is.
From our frame of reference, it's entirely arbitrary. He chose for his own good reasons. That's arbitrary.
Right. That's all I was saying. I was just saying, I'm not saying it is to him. I'm not saying it in the Calvinist worldview. I'm using, by the way, I'm trying to represent the Calvinist worldview correctly here in this argument, because this is an internal critique. This is a polemic. So I'm trying, I do want to get it right. Okay. So can we agree that yes, it might from our viewpoint be arbitrary because we can't know the justification. That doesn't mean there isn't one. And the Calvinists will claim there is a justification. It's not arbitrary, correct?
No, I don't. Do me a favor. What Calvinist has said that there is justification, but it's not arbitrary?
Beckel, Jill, Jesus is Lord.
Hold on. Beckel does?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I argue with Beckel all the time. He's in my orbit constantly. We have tons of arguments. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So one, I don't believe.
I mean,
you.
Is Beckel not a good Calvinist?
Well, no. I don't believe you because you.
I've been arguing with Beckel for 5 years, man. I got clips of him on my stream and all sorts of stuff. He said some crazy things, man.
That's fine. Anyway, but you
I know he claims to be a compatibilist, but it don't always shake out that way.
Okay. Anyway, your question is?
Well, no. Okay. So we're getting over the first premise. The first premise is just the cornerstone, as I understand, that there's nothing of the nature of the creature that merits its selection to be elect. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay. That's the first premise. So essentially now, if God does not author, here's the second premise. If God does not author secondary agency, And I believe that's basically the position you're presenting. So God does not author secondary agency of any kind. He allows agents to make their own choices. And in that process, someone chooses to couple with another person. Now, the person that is born is a product of
is this still
secondary choices.
Is it still a second premise?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's it. That's it, by the way. Just the person that's born of any person is a product of secondary agency.
Yeah. Partially secondary agency.
What do you mean partially? What does that mean?
I mean partially because, as I already said before, that God is going to be the ultimate cause of all things.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm talking about at the micro level of like God's not making someone choose who they couple with. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's also. Do you think that's a Calvinist position?
No. I'm representing the position that you do not hold the idea. I'm here. Hold the thing. Just please. I'll try to be real clear with this. I am taking the position. I'm doing an internal critique. I'm trying to represent you correctly. Okay.
You're not.
What I'm saying is you do hold that God does not interfere with secondary agency, correct?
No, I don't hold that at all, and I don't know a Calvinist.
Okay,
that.
Great. So now we're into the second premise. Okay, we're done with it. Now you agree with both of them. We're good. I'm trying to just represent your position correctly.
No, wait. I don't know that there was agreement on the last one because I'm telling you. So you said.
Okay, I'm just telling you the same thing you've been telling me for the last 30 minutes that God doesn't interfere with secondary agency. Now you got a problem with it?
No, see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say that God doesn't interfere with secondary agency. I didn't say that.
Oh my God!
God not being the secondary cause doesn't mean He's not interfering with secondary agency. God interferes with in all sorts of ways. For example, when it comes to antecedent conditions, all sorts of choices are going to be limited to you, just like we just talked about a second ago. And that's what I'm saying. Can I recommend a book for you?
Because does God make someone couple with another person? Yes or no?
As an ultimate cause, absolutely. Things like
fine. As an actual cause, does He do something in their brain or orchestrate things to make sure that someone couples with another person?
Wait. Listen, bro. This is philosophy. What do you mean by actual cause? Because you slipped out. What do you mean by that?
Man. You're making this so. You're really trying to dodge this by trying to make this so really complicated, man.
Sure.
Let me ask you something, man. Is your particular theology so stinking complicated and so out of reach to the common man that you got to have a PhD to understand it?
Hey, A1, do me a favor. I want to answer this question.
Is this the type of thing that you like to do to gloat with your credentials, and you just wave your credentials around and hope that the rest of the people in the room won't be high IQ enough to know that you're spoon feeding them bullshit?
No, I don't hope for that. Listen, when you're done with your question, A1, put me in the big stream so I can answer the question. Because this is going to be a mess.
You know, man, you're just dodging in between the lines of the issues of whether or not God is authoring secondary agency. You say that God allows secondary agency. He does not make decisions for people at certain levels of secondary agency. You spent the whole time arguing this point, and now just to dodge my argument, you're going to go back on everything you said. You're a loser, dude. Absolute, complete, and utter L in your desperate dodge of this argument, man.
Your mama's a loser, bitch. Let's try that.
All right, whatever.
Now, when you're done, I'm gonna have A1 put me on a big screen so I can answer your question. A1, put me on a big screen when he's done talking.
I'm gonna throw him on the big screen. Are you? All right, Saint, go ahead, land your plane.
All right, it's fine. I'll just give the argument. He's just going to try to be difficult. All right. So Calvinism taking the position that God does not do anything to necessarily alter with people's secondary agency. Many Calvinists would argue, at least if they protect secondary agency, they're not going to argue that God makes two people come together and produce a child. Okay, they won't generally say that if they're, and as I was trying to get this gentleman to just admit, which he doesn't want to, that he would hold that position that God's not going around trying to find a way to micromanage reality to make people couple together. You know, that seems to be a bizarre thing. So if you would just be honest and consistent with the same thing he's been arguing this whole stinking time about God not authoring secondary agency, we would get past this point and then get to my final issue of this, the final conclusion of all of this brought full circle. which is that if this is true and God does not author secondary agency, then you have two people coming together to produce a child, a living, breathing human being that was not chosen by any primary agency to exist, was not made happen by God, by him operating through and changing secondary agency, because you guys say he allows that. He doesn't necessarily get involved in all that. He lets people make their own choices. That's what you claim. That's what you said this whole time. So now you have a child. And this child is a product of secondary choices that God himself didn't directly choose to exist and manifest. And now God is going to choose based upon someone else's secondary choices, whether that creature is going to be saved, is going to be elect, or is going to be condemned. And now God's choice, even in your own worldview, is now contingent upon secondary choices that you claim he doesn't author, which now forces you, in order to keep your worldview, to admit that God does author secondary choices, secondary agency, and now you're a fatalist. So pick your poison.
Now we're cooking. Okay. Cool. Now put me on a big screen. Let me explain something to the uneducated and uninitiated man who's talking right now. Calvinist philosophers and teachers make a careful distinction that this idiot is not making at all. He's using language that where there's a bait and switch, even though the words, this is not the same. There's no reason for this retarded bait and switch. He's saying things like God is not authoring secondary agency, and then saying that must mean that God is not interfering with secondary agency. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I want you to ask yourself a question. Let's give a couple examples. Have you ever interfered with someone's secondary agency? You absolutely have. You ever told someone to stop doing something that they were doing? You ever told someone to not do something they were doing? Have you ever taken a choice away from someone? Let's say, for example, a person decided that they wanted to blow their brains out. Let's say you on a human level. A person has decided to blow their brains out. And you have that person's pew-pew on YouTube. You've had that person's pew-pew. And you decide not to give that person their pew-pew back. Have you interfered with that person's secondary agency? You most certainly have. Even as an agent who's not on the level of God, you can interfere with the person's secondary agency. You can remove certain choices from them based on circumstance. You can decide that you're not going to allow a person to eat a certain food because you don't supply it. Have you interfered with that person's agency? You absolutely have. What the person wants to eat, and you decide not to allow them to eat. You decide not to give them any food. These are not careful distinctions. This is not the words of a philosopher or an educated or read man on the topic talking to you, coming from Slim Shady there. He has no idea what he's talking about. These are really easy examples. Really, really easy examples on a human level to give. By the way, this one right here over my shoulder, right here, says I was number one in the area of philosophy. I tied for number one with a guy named Nick Portwood, another philosopher, writing on this particular topic. So I'm drawing a careful distinction that he is not, because he doesn't know enough about the topic to even engage in the conversation. Can't offer critiques. You don't know enough, brother. So anyway, so saying that God does not author the secondary cause, not saying that God does not interfere. That's stupid. This is absolutely retarded. There's no reason to even say stuff like this if you're grown and your prefrontal cortex works properly. Okay? So let's say that. Then he says that God is not, he's talking about God not operating or changing secondary agency. That's also stupid. Philosophers, let me recommend another reading again, Moral Responsibility by Matthew Talbert, are careful to distinguish, are careful to define antecedent conditions. Now, if you were born in the year, I don't know, 200 BCE, could you choose to drive a Tesla? No, because it didn't fucking exist. Who chose to place the time of your birth? Could God have intervened in any way, right? Could God have stopped it? Could God have said, it's not going to happen? Could he have put a roadblock? Could God have made some sort of thing that may seem serendipitous by our standards? Some sort of chance encounter happened? Yes, God could have. This is the entire Christian position. This is the entire position of all sorts of different worldviews, that the gods can intervene in certain ways. This idea that he has violates all of them, that apparently the gods don't intervene. And that's stupid. Who in any sort of theism doesn't believe that the gods intervene? They pray, they fast, they do rain dances, they do all kinds of stuff because they believe that the gods intervene, even in areas where humans are making choices and decisions. Why do Christians pray? Why do they pray for the salvation of their auntie, their cousin, their coworker, whatever it is, because they believe God's going to intervene. Even if you believe that that is going to come down to human choice, whether you're a Calvinist or not, you believe that he's going to intervene. You believe that he can do so. You can't have prayer or prophecy or anything like that unless God intervenes. Unless God is in control of even the minute details. You can't say things like, no bird falls from the sky, or no blade of grass or anything like that happens, dies, unless God's in control, unless you believe something akin to this. This is a person who hasn't thought this through, okay? And so he says, God doesn't make it happen. Well, he has to in some sort of ultimate sense. He has to be controlling and pulling the strings behind the stuff. He has to. Otherwise, there's no point in praying. All this stuff is out of his control. You have to go with a more agnostic God. And so it's like you really have the choice between something like God controlling all of these minute details, right? Or you don't have prayer and that kind of thing, right? You have fate and you know, one of the other options that the Greeks went with was fatalism above all this stuff. The gods aren't in control. The gods can't stop fate because fate is above it. But that's not this view, okay? That's why this is not fatalism. So he said God didn't directly choose. None of this means that God didn't directly choose. In his decree, before time ever existed, before space, time, matter, or even the creature itself existed, God made some sort of choice. Not based on the creature, not based on some activity that they were going to do, right? Because they hadn't existed yet. And he controlled all of the minute details of their life, right? Without destroying secondary causation. It's called compatibilism. I recommend a reading from PhD scholar Matthew Talbert, Moral Responsibility. The man talking to you, I don't know, no idea who he is, but nobody needs to know who he is because he's an idiot. And I'm done.
Let me go ahead and I'm on that one and take you off the big screen. Did you want to respond, Saint?
Yeah, sure. I'll kind of give the argument that he completely dodged once again in his gish galloping nonsense.
Oh my God!
And frankly, if any of you really think you got the answer to my challenge out of that, I dare you to support it, because I didn't hear anything to do with my actual argument about the internal entailments and the collapse of the logic of his position, to where the claim rests entirely on the idea. And I don't know what you're talking about. Like at some point it sounded like you were saying God was controlling all the little micro aspects, while also denying that that was really the case as well. So, you know, a lot of your answers I find to be contradictory and confusing. You might have a little fan base that just cheers you on with whatever nonsense falls out of your mouth because you use certain words in certain order that makes you kind of sound smart, and you seem to be overall condescending and insulting and disrespectful and pompous and bold, and then fashion yourself a teacher, seemingly knowing tons about your religion, but seemingly a lack of character to apply it. So, you know, I've tried to not actually be insulting to you other than moments that I feel that you've been really dishonest. And I actually think you have been dishonest in this debate. I think you're dodging the argument.
This is not a debate.
I think you're answering a bunch of things in periphery that have nothing to do with my central point. And your system does collapse because you do have a problem where God chooses the elect based upon someone else's choices as to who they couple with.
No, you see how I had
so I'll ask you this question and I'll watch you dodge it. Okay. And I think that'll be your L for the evening.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Does God author people's choices to who they couple with? Yes or no?
No, God does not author their choices.
There we go.
The choices are apparent to the agent. I said this. This is the first thing I said.
There we go. Now, God's choices to who's elect depends upon the choices of another secondary agent, and therefore leads to the internal collapse of Calvinism. You just collapsed your entire theology with that.
You asked if he authors them. Listen, buddy, you asked if he authors them. And again, maybe you just, that's what I'm saying.
You're going to go back on the other side now? You Calvinists love to do this. Especially you compatibilists always jump back and forth from, he's doing it. No, he isn't. No, he's doing it. No, he isn't. You're all over the place, man. Okay, cool. So here's the issue, though. I don't think you understand the language that's used. You talk about authoring. You're talking about authoring. Okay? And like that's what I'm saying. Like you keep confusing. Like you confuse author with interfere earlier. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You just tried to represent it as that and conflate it as such. I was very clear. You just want to overcomplicate it and dissect it to try and reductio ad absurdum into nonsense. And really, it is a form of straw man.
We be saying about Leandre.
Hey, listen.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I made my point. I think I made. Hold on, sir. I'll let you finish. I'll tell you what. You know what? You can have the whole rest of the time. I promise you. Because at this point, I'm just going to yield. I think if the audience really is being objective and real about this, I think they'll be able to figure it out. And I'm going to leave it at that. So I appreciate the opportunity, guys. Thanks for letting me have this little throwdown here, really. But I'll go ahead and yield, and he can finish with whatever he wants.
Marshall, we appreciate it. I do think that the audience is very clear on what exactly is happening here, and so we appreciate you for your time. But again, you're not going to give me anything, brother. It's a black channel. We're taking it.
I'll be honest with you.
You gonna make really it a race cool. thing? It's a black channel and shit, man. Here's the thing. Weak ass argument is that, man. Stop that.
Real quick. If I could, that I will say it feels. I didn't. By the way, when I first got here, I didn't look at this as a quote unquote black channel at all.
Oh God,
I didn't see it that way. I'm just like, hey, here's some debate bros, and like I like debate, and I've done debate. Like, let's go. I didn't have any of those, conceptions when I got in here, man. Like you
and brother, that you had the right idea not to have those type of conceptions. We is not racist over here. It ain't none of that shit.
Man, you've kind of made this about race like several times tonight, man. You're angry, bud. You're angry, man.
How's that racist to mention race? Is racist to mention race? Wait a minute.
Well, I know, but you made it about race. You're talking about how, like, I'm disagreeing with you because you got too much melanin or something you said earlier. I mean, what kind of insult is that, man? You're trying to call me a racist. I'm trying to have a respectful debate with you, man. That's shame on you, buddy. Hey, man, I was nothing but respectful to you. That's a double L on you. Shame on you, buddy, trying to impose race into this. I'm trying to have a respectful debate with you. What's wrong with you? Is this your Calvinist morals, man?
Hey, Lorel, listen. When you got on there trying to champion that white lady at one time, brother,
all them books over there, man, don't give you character. I'll tell you that much right now.
Champion the white lady.
You're a privileged little brat boy, man. I'll tell you, you really are.
Privileged little black boy.
You're a privileged little man. Yeah, you are, dude. Yeah, you're absolutely. You were born with the silver spoon, buddy. I can tell, man. Your attitude reeks of it, dude. You haven't had to work for anything in your life.
And his spirit of discernment is on point because he's saying the same shit I said about your ass. So.
Peace, y'all. Shalom.
Hey, Lorel, I haven't catch you in traffic. It's gonna be a misunderstanding, bro.
Leandre, this brother Emmanuel.
Man, I wanted to be respectful, but seriously, if you want to throw down and just throw garbage, man, hey, I'll get deep with it.
We have you want
to call me an idiot? I'll show you wide in front of everyone, man. You want to throw down that way?
Yeah, get him, cuz.
Go ahead, do it. Hey, I bet you won't.
That's what I'm saying, man. Your attitude and stuff, all this knowledge, all this money spent on your books, and you can't have a teacher's attitude. Why don't you go read Ephesians? Why don't you go hold to something deeper than just your Calvinistic blood sport, man? I tried to have a real honest conversation with you. You were condescending, insulting.
That's true.
I tried to give you respect of your position and your claim to credentials and your points.
Claim to credentials.
And you made it about race, man. Your character is garbage. What are you going to teach, man? Were you going to fashion yourself a teacher and teach your students this way?
Yes.
What the hell are all? Let me tell you something. Why don't you go read 1 Corinthians 13? See, because all your credentials, all your books, all your learning, it don't mean shit if you don't got love.
Lorel,
and you're a condescending, absolutely pompous little prick, dude. You really are.
Damn, he said the exact same fucking words I said to you. You a pompous little prick. That's the same shit I said to you.
And privileged, too. With silver spoon in my mouth. Hey,
we know
hey, listen. Whenever you're done with your white whining, okay, we'll just do something else. But
come on, man, stop that shit, man.
It's about race again.
Well, I'm white. He might be into red wine, man. Stop that
really.
Shit.
No one. I hope any church that would ever hire you would see this stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, no one in their right mind of any Christian union would ever want anything to do with you if this is how you act, man. You're gonna treat parishioners and stuff like this and students like this, man. You're garbage. You really are garbage,
Facts. Man. I like this guy, man. Bring him back.
Laurel, when I get your address, bro, I'm gonna be over there, bro.
Damn, cuz don't do that, man.
Laurel, I'm gonna be over there, bro. When I get your address.
Don't do that, man. I live in the most dangerous city in America. Don't do that.
Be outside. Laurel, I'm gonna be outside in my quarter zip on, bro. I'm letting you know.
Damn, man, come on, man.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
I don't want no drama, man.
I gotta grab myself a beverage. I'll be right back. My throat's getting dry.
Yeah, go ahead and get you one of them little Fresca waters or them.
Why I gotta be Fresca water? How you know he ain't drinking Fiji, man?
Well, it might be one of those LaCroix or whatever the hell it is. What's some other little nasty things that taste like static? Anyway, hey, A1.
Talk to me.
Don't tell me to keep racing. I'm trolling right now. Just let me do what I'm doing. I know.
Hey, man. You could troll, man, but troll better than that, man. That's the go-to basic shit.
What you talking? Hey, you talking? Listen.
I know if somebody did me like that on race and stuff, it would give me anxiety and make it uncomfortable
for
me around. Listen.
I'm saying the nigga already behind enemy lines, then you gonna bring up race shit.
Of course I did. Listen. This I know what I'm doing. Listen, y'all stick, but bro, y'all listen. Hey, bro. Hey, Laurel. If we was in the pod, bro, you already know, bro. It'd be a DP, bro.
What's that? You talking about like a school of dolphins?
Yeah, I am. Because I'm privileged and grew up with a silver spoon.
No, I'm saying like which pod? Like you talking about like North Atlantic, South Atlantic?
Yeah, you know the one. Yeah, if you walk through that area, yeah. Laurel, you already know what's going on, bro.
No, I don't. Which pod you talking about?
Yeah, you know what pod I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Hey, A1. Bro, bro, he'd be getting a DP right now, bro. We have to.
Well, I don't watch gay porn, bro. What are you talking about?
See, now you on some wild stuff. I don't know what you on. You got
what DP means a double penetration, right?
Hey, you got to talk to the white dude, man. If you want to go freaky,
I'm saying, but DP do mean double penetration, though, right?
In your world, yeah. My world, it don't mean.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by pods. The only pods I know are dolphin pods, and I don't. The only DP I know is double penetration dealing with porn. Like, so what are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Laurel, listen. Whatever you do in your free time, bro, that's on you, bro.
I mean, it's not my free time. You the one bought it up. I don't watch invert shit. You bought it up, not me.
Nah, I didn't bring that up. You brought that up.
Yeah, you just brought up being DPing people, bro. I don't do that. That's what you said.
I think he was referring to a discipline, but look, I don't.
Oh well, I don't know nothing about that. Cause I'm an '80s baby. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Laurel. I don't know what
privilege
girl you grew up in, bro, but yeah.
Dre, you were pretty clear, for anybody who understands the definitions from different denominations. Even though I'm not of a denomination sect of Christianity, I still clearly understand that they have an understanding that's realistic, and that's how it even got broken down, because it was a point in time where everybody was treating them as if they were just believing in things that were ungraspable. So I don't get into the separation necessarily of the denominations in Christianity as if they're not as literal as if one would say Islam or Judaism, etc. So I don't really
real quick. A1, are you there?
Yep, talk to me.
Yeah. Do you mind if I clip this little bit out and upload it on my channel later? Yeah. This little main debate I had. Is that cool?
Bro, for 300 somebody, no. Hold on, A1. Hold on, bro. For 400 years.
Yeah, man, you talking to that man? Let him chop it up with A1 first, and then interrupt your little disrespectful ass.
No, bro. For 400 years, bro, they extracted our resource and our labor, bro. This
nigga ain't even 400 years old.
Anytime you come over here, you can hit that button that says "Stream to your audience."
Nah, bro, hell no, bro.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do that though. I was just asking. I was just asking if I had permission to go back on your channel and clip it out and upload it to my channel.
This is why Elvis got famous, bro. He took from people like Chuck Berry.
I can't actually hear the answer from the host because you keep talking.
Bro, this what Elvis did to Chuck Berry right here.
Man, here you go again, bro.
So you're not going to let me share my
But don't nobody
performance in a
in here listen
debate?
to Elvis or Chuck Berry,
You're
bro.
not. You're going to tell me I'm not allowed to share my debate performance with my audience? Are you insane?
He is insane.
Appreciate it if you did. Yeah,
Bro, you want to take the work product of black
and
people,
let
bro?
people know we exist.
Dude, I'm
Here he
literally
goes to-
trying to
here he goes to
promote a
Dre shit
black
again, bro.
guy's channel, man.
Hey,
I'm trying to draw traffic here with my audience by uploading
and
this
we
stuff. I'm going to
appreciate
give them
that.
credit. What are you talking about,
Go ahead
dude?
on and appropriate it, bro.
What are you
We
talking
appreciate
about, man?
You go ahead on and appropriate it, bro. It's all good. Do your thing, bro.
Nah, man, we
I'm trying
appreciate
to
your
shout
effort,
him
brother,
out
man.
to get more traffic. You say appropriate, man, dude. Man, you're
I
really,
appreciate you,
man. You're something
bro,
else,
this is
dude.
for appropriation, bro. This what
You're
y'all
something
do.
else,
This
man.
what y'all
Really,
do.
you know what? You're gonna
This
be
all
a
y'all
failure.
do.
Let me tell you something, man. You are gonna be a
From the
failure at
black man.
life. Your attitude is garbage. No one's ever gonna want to work with you, dude. Seriously. You got something wrong with you, man. You better get used to, you better get real good. You better get better at this online debate stuff, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. That's all you're gonna have. You're just some random shitlord with a few letters after his name. You know, got plenty of those online that believe all sorts of crazy crap, and you're just another one of them. And you're pretentious, and you're arrogant, and you're nonsensical. You dodge points. You're conversationally dishonest. You're a bad interlocutor. You're arrogant, prideful, nonsensical, and completely morally lost.
Okay,
you have no sense.
narcissistic.
You know what? You should spend more time trying to apply the things that you're learning rather than trying to figure out how to argue people into the dirt that you're right. You know, you should figure out some of the practical application of this theology. You've spent tens of thousands of dollars to garner under your belt to what? Go teach people? Teach them what? How to fail at being a Christian while defending Christianity? You're a garbage person, dude. You really are. And your true colors come out tonight. I put you in your place. You're a fucking loser and you always will be.
Somebody type whitesplaining in the comments so I can have A1 pin it. Type in
whitesplaining. Yeah, make it about race.
We don't even know what that
just
means,
prove
bro. Like,
again
stop
that you're
using
just
goofy
dumb,
ass terms, man.
racist,
We don't know
gutter
what that
trash. You know what, dude? You being a garbage human being has nothing to do with your skin color. It has to do with your character. It has nothing to do with you being black. You're just a terrible person.
Hey, you know what? This is what y'all white people do. Y'all don't like stuff that a black man says.
Here you go with this fucking race shit. That ain't got nothing to do with race. It got something to do with the content of your character.
Any other black person in this room but you, asshole.
Yeah, you don't like the ones that speak out against your racism.
Oh, whatever, man. You're the only one making it all about race this whole night, man. You're sick.
Bro, it's always about race.
Your morality is bankrupt, dude. Forget your Calvinism, man. You're crooked.
I like this guy, bro. I like this guy.
Came in here. I can smell it. Your grandparents.
Man, I was willing to be respectful. You want to throw down? This is what it is, bitch. And I promise you, you don't got the wit or the timing or the sense. You're just pompous, overpolished, fucking privileged trash. That's all you are, man. You got nothing to contribute except a pompous ass attitude and a bunch of gish galloping nonsense, hoping that the people in the room aren't going to be smart enough to figure out that you're shoveling bullshit down their throats.
All right. It's time for some decorum, y'all.
Hey, listen.
Really?
I
thought this was fight night.
I'm good.
What happened to this being fight night? It's supposed to be sparring night, man. What you mean?
What you mean, brother, man?
Hey, honey, type white rage in the comments for me so I can have A1.
Oh, man. Now he's trying to get other people to get on with the race shit, man. Stop that.
Always going to be a little wilder than the...
Hey. Honey,
He's reaching for straws, man. He's looking for help. Honey, help me. Help me, honey. Honey, help me. Help me.
Yeah, let's leave all
A1, I didn't actually hear the answer. Was I allowed to clip out my little debate segment here?
No, he said no.
I said yes.
And I
also said don't bring up race again on this channel tonight. That's what I also said too.
White.
We don't have to call each other.
I appreciate it, bro. but I'm not about to let people touch me.
What is wrong? Like, why people think they could just disrespect the platform like that? You can't do that, man.
I'm sorry, man. I hope I wasn't disrespectful
Nah,
tonight.
man, you didn't do nothing, man. You
man.
was a perfect guest, man. We appreciate your presence here, man, and your efforts to try to help us.
No, I
build our
appreciate
own
the
brand, man.
hospitality and letting me join, guys. I really do. I do appreciate
So
it.
yeah, man, we want you here more often, man. We ain't with none of that racist shit, man. We down with whatever, any type of information, any of that, man.
I've studied theology and philosophy and teleology and lots of different things and components of Christianity and other religions for the better part of 30 years, ever since my youth. So it's always been something that's really, really interested me. And at a certain point, I thought I was kind of saving souls by convincing people to believe better things. And I guess I've just kind of recently gotten a little gassed out of that. I don't really have a lot of feelings about it anymore like I used to. You know, it all kind of has started to feel a little bit, you know, pointless, almost nihilistic in some ways, even through a Christian lens. And I try not to share it too much with everyone. I'm not trying to bankrupt anyone else's faith along with my own, but you know, but I still love the fight, man. I love the battle.
You know, one of the things that revitalized my faith in God was me experiencing God through a different lens, and I started looking through God from a physics lens. You know what I'm saying? Trying to look at God in an objective reality versus you know, based in subjectivity. And so when we demonstrate that God is light and light is electromagnetism, the fullness thereof, and that electromagnetism is the evidence that God exists. Not that it is God, which we could say that if we wanted to, but we're saying that it's the evidence of God. And then once you start exploring electromagnetism, then you really start understanding the boundless power and glory of God. And it kind of revitalized your connection with the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think I think I understand kind of the metaphysics you're talking about.
Break it down to him. He didn't understand. Say more. There's people in the audience who got questions.
Well, again, God is like when we deal with God is like it's an ongoing tradition dealing with humans and humanity. When they come up with the concept of God, it's always rooted in celestial things, nature. So when we define God, we define God by power and force. You can't call something a God unless it's endowed with power and force, right? Without the power and force, it can't be considered a God. So we see God as power and force itself, raw power and force. It does not have a personality. It's not a person. It doesn't sit on throne. This is man imposing man on the concept of God, right? So our earlier ancestors, when they would see a volcano, they would feel the ground shake. They would see the heat. They would see the raw power and force from a volcano. And then eventually they would deify the volcano and start worshiping and give it anthropomorphic properties. But the original concept of it comes directly from observing natural phenomena and not some like fictitious person in the sky or like some imaginary friend, but actual real power and force in nature. So, you know, we try to reconnect back with God through that perspective, because when you read all of the holy books, they tell you all the same. God is light, lightning, Zeus, Apollo, all this stuff.
What is the name of your religion or your belief? Does it have a name or?
No, we don't. And that's the whole thing. We don't have a name because it's not a religion. It's just an understanding, right?
I just was wondering if there was a box I was familiar with that I could understand kind of the spectrum of
like everybody in our group got different different beliefs and different stands. Me personally, I'm an omniist. I don't know if you know what that is, but I'm an omniist. Which is the person who believes that all religions have a thread of truth and they all kind of converge.
We used to call that religious pluralism, but yeah, I get you.
Religious pluralism, that's funny. Yeah, they call it omniist nowadays. And so I'm an omniist. So I could look at Islam, Christianity, I could look at polytheistic religions and still extract wisdom from them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't demonize them just because they're, you know, they different. I actually believe diversity is what makes us beautiful.
Anyone can argue that a broken clock is right twice a day. You know?
Oh, God is right. So, but yeah, so That's why I was like,
I'll just say this, even as like a Christian I don't think Muhammad got necessarily everything wrong, but you can't say things like that usually without being looked at cross-eyed. But again, some people are bound to stumble on something that seems
so
to be
let me ask you
socially or
this.
dynamically
How do
correct
you
here or there.
how do you define divinity, and how do you define God?
The maximally great ultimate.
Okay.
So my position is almost more Molinistic, and I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with what that is.
No, I'm not.
If you're curious, there is a YouTube channel with a PhD philosopher who is also a Molinist. So if anyone's there who's curious what that is, his channel is Free Thinking Ministries. And you can I always forget the doctor's name, but he runs that channel and he has a very Molinistic view. Also, Christian philosopher William Lane Craig, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He is a Molinist. So if anyone wants to know kind of what that is, that's the best way to go.
Can you give us like a little synopsis on what it is? I've never heard that.
Yeah, sure. It kind of hinges, basically, it's more of where Calvinism tends to deal primarily with God's relationship to salvific consequence. The Molinism approach kind of deals with a more meta, overarching, all over reconciliation of God's relationship to reality. And it kind of hinges on three key components about God's knowledge. Because basically it's God's knowledge that kind of hinges primarily as to how he will relate to reality. So Molinism separates God's knowledge into three different categories. Necessary knowledge, which is like rules of logic, laws of mathematics, laws of physics, how the universe has to be. Basically, this is necessary knowledge, things that just have to be a certain way in order for a universe to exist. The fine-tuning of the universe, the fine-tuning of the cosmic, bodies, and the fine-tuning of the solar system to allow for life. And all of these components, all of these attributes are all basically necessary knowledge. These are things that have to be in order for reality to exist, certainly as we know it. Then
Are you familiar with the passage in the Bible where it talks about God clothing himself in a dark cloud?
Say again. I'm so sorry.
Are you familiar with the verse in the Bible where it talks about God clothing himself in a dark cloud, like he lives in a dark cloud?
I'm not familiar with that off the top of my head, truthfully.
If somebody could find that scripture for me, put it up. So
you want?
Yeah, that's me there. There you go.
And I'm showing your page. People were asking me what Cone Cult Club was.
Okay.
And find you
I'll just give you guys a quick story for that. I might as well, because
everyone's
going to be wondering what that comes from. My best friend. That's fine. My best friend is Will Kincaid. The K is always a big thing in a lot of his branding. He's been a wonderful support. Kincaid, K-I-N.
Is he related to the guy that went to the Grand Canyon and found the artifacts?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not even close. No, completely different. But anyway, best friend, and his social media was always like Kink Inc. or Kink Media or something like that. It'd be a variation of his name. At one point, there was a atheist, a particularly dumb atheist, who made himself an ample target, being loud and obnoxious to a lot of young women on the internet, which earned a bit of ire from a number of people, including me and some other people that were following me. So I started challenging him and, basically memeing on him, trolling him, turning him into a total low-cow, have a whole big, long series of it, and ended up basically hiring Gilbert Gottfried to do a cameo to troll him ourselves with a meme. That was a picture that was up on his Facebook. He had a banner up on his Facebook, and it was him holding his daughter up in a field, kissing her on the lips when she's like 6 years old. And it just caused everyone to kind of get icked out. And so we paid Gilbert Gottfried to read a line that said he kisses his daughter like he's eating an ice cream cone. And then a whole bunch of people were going over to his chat and typing in ice cream cones. And it caused him to have a complete and utter mental meltdown where he's even getting on stream.
You talking about the black comedian dude?
Who?
The black comedian dude.
Gilbert Gottfried, the guy that was the parrot in Aladdin,
Okay. Oh, hell no. No, y'all didn't.
Yeah. Oh no, we did. I have the clip.
Oh
I
my
could go
God.
get it for you. No, I could get the clip for you.
Go grab the clip for me, or tell me where to get it.
For real? Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to play it.
Go get it. We love the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it uploaded on my StreamYard, but I can't get it from there. Hold on, let me think about that. I think I actually have it in the Bear with me. Hold on one second.
How did y'all get in contact with him? If it's on your StreamYard, go to the video.
Gilbert's dead. No, Gilbert's dead. He died a couple years ago. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But before he died, we paid him to do a cameo where he basically got on camera and read our script, trolling
How did you get in contact with him?
And the guy got so triggered eventually that he said he couldn't buy ice cream in the store because he thought people were looking at him weird when he did. And he had to go to therapy over this ice cream cone meme. And one of the ultimate trolls was because a bunch of people were calling our group a cult. So we just embraced it. And so we made it the Kincaid Cone Club Cult, and we just used all Ks. It happened to come out KKK, which was ironic and funny to trigger certain people because it really doesn't have anything to do with that. But hey, man, we're taking it back and we're using it for something else. So fuck them, right? You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's cool shit. That's cool beans.
So that's the story. If that helps everyone, I tried to give it as short and sweet as I could. It's a big, long lore, man. I'm talking about like 2-3 years of history there. So you know.
Yeah, people used to say funny shit about me because my name is Anu Kakarek, and I spell Kakarek Kakerakt, so it's 3 K's in it. So people are like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, it's just.
I took the name he gave me during the debate, the Slim Shady of debate. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that, and I'm just gonna own that for a little bit.
And here is the flyer for Anu's next debate, November 3rd. Wait, when is your debate against Pan? The 29th. Yeah, it's supposed to be like the second or third week in November, something like that. No. So, 26. What do you think about this debate topic, Slim Shady? What do you think about this debate topic?
Let's see. Did the Moors
no, not that bullshit. Not that bullshit. Between me and Pan, the topic is should the Fraternal Order of Police be disbanded? I need to make that flyer. I'm actually doing it right now.
Oh, that's actually a really interesting topic, actually.
See, I keep trying to tell everybody it's a good topic.
No, that is a really the fact that you add the fraternal component to it, as if really the current state of morale and supporting of deviant actions by fellow officers with a lack of personal transparency and accountability as being part of the problem, is a very strong point to take in a debate like that the fraternal component of the police force, while being binding and many times can promote good morale and better work ethic amongst the staff, can also promote an environment of dishonesty. And certainly there should be a mechanism of internal transparency and scrutiny from someone that is separated from them, independent of them, that can look into things independently and not be swayed, by the fraternal component of Back the Blue, kind of being printed on all of their hearts. So actually, yeah, that's a very, very interesting topic. Yeah, I'd like to see that unfold. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm kind of like on the same page with you. Is that I'm on the same page, but I'm in a different chapter. If that makes any sense.
No, I get you. Yeah, no, I just know the topic. The way the topic is worded is really interesting. I'll give you that.
So my thing is, it's like I don't understand why they have to create a fraternal order of police when we already have workers' unions, right? We already got workers' unions that do everything.
Yeah, but it's not about it's not even just about that. Many times, really, there's a psychological component to this too, and of course, it's also present in the military, and it has to do with a certain level of morale boosting. You want to keep a certain level of morale amongst, where they have trust amongst each other. When they walk into the office or something and they know that everyone around them is looking at them with an eye of scrutiny to find something wrong to report, it leads to bad morale. you know, there's a certain almost, it's really hard to say it, but in order to keep these people from basically just, you know, almost emotionally and mentally breaking down altogether is to be able to give them a bit of leeway. So it's hard because there's this middle line where you want to keep morale high. You want them to feel a sense of camaraderie and trust among each other and that they got each other's back. And at the same time, you want them to report each other and betray each other and give an environment of dishonesty, which could probably alter performance and safety standards and lots of other things. And there's lots of ramifications from that. It's really is a tough topic, honestly. It's hard to tackle, and I could see really good arguments from either side, honestly.
Yeah, man, I think it's a really good topic because I was actually pointing out some of the points that, you know, they putting on this facade like this not a Masonic organization, but it clearly has Masonic symbology all over the seal. There's the Eye of Prudence on there. You got the Master Mason handshake on there.
Yeah,
I mean,
some of it's, some of those symbols and stuff. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so we've all watched what certain factions of Masons done. We know that they control vast. Thank you, man. You're welcome. We see that they control vast areas of society and industry, down to the military, to all basic levels of life, and they basically control everything. And they're the cause of all the fucking wars on the damn planet. And you want us to believe that the fraternal order of police ain't somehow the same? Like that's.
Well, and you do have to, and I agree with you.
Bring out the Constitution. What the hell we need? What the hell you need another oath for when the Constitution already gives you all of that?
It's not the oath here's the thing. It's not even the oath. I'll tell you really what I see a big part of the problem is the internal culture, which I almost think you're talking about in the terms of the fraternity, because you have cultural ideas that are micro cultural ideas that permeate just the people in the police station. And it could be led by one or two people in leadership that maybe are crooked or racist or unfair or unjust or unruly or wanting things a certain way that are nonsensical and maybe even cruel. And that will instigate an internal culture that will just end up being shared by everyone. And these men and women who deal with a lot of high stress situations will go to the area to release their angst where the authority will allow it. And they're going to let it out somewhere. And if the authority there happens to be permissible to say, you know, to heck with black people or, you know, to heck with Mexicans or, well, whatever's allowed, they're probably going to direct their angst where they can direct it and not get in trouble. And if the leadership is saying, hey, it's okay, these filthy, rotten, you know, fence hopping degenerates or whatever, then guess what? They're going to be like, oh, it's okay in this department to let out my angst and frustration on there because the authority's not going to call. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can have this infusion in this fraternal sense of like this internal culture that can be extremely socially toxic. And I don't know, even if there is something that could be put in place to garner against that or mitigate that. It's complex, it's sociological, it's psychological, and it's just there.
That's why my stance is just deban the motherfucker, man. Deban that shit because we already got the Constitution. There's no need for you to have a separate labor union. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need that shit, and all it does is create another onion layer of distrust between the people and the police. And it's like, like I was like that was one of the things I was telling Pat is like, these people are supposed to protect and serve, but everything that they have is a sword. Right. Everything they have is a fucking sword to hurt you or maim you. You know what I'm saying? So why do you keep on talking this serve shit when you're not protecting people?
The one thing let me tell you something. The one thing I really kind of always appreciated uniquely about what I saw personally, and this is me, like about the Christian faith that I had held on to, is that it was such a different philosophy from everything else in kind of like a religious context. Like in terms of its propagation and its encouragement, it wasn't about converting kings and rulers and then forcing it on the people. It was never about that. Like, and any opportunity that the apostles or Jesus or any of the others had to do something like that, to be a king or take a leadership position and basically enforce Christianity, they didn't do that. They always stayed at the bottom rung. And that was the interesting thing I liked about the ethic as to how culture and problems like this should, in my mind, be solved, is that you work from the bottom up, not the top down. Everyone's worried about legislating morality, setting new laws so that less horrible things can happen. You know, when the populace is convinced to be moral for the greater good of all, and they have something to grasp onto with meaning and purpose and truth that justifies and encourages them to want to do that, it doesn't matter what laws you have. You don't need to have heavy enforcement. You don't need to have heavy guns with the cops. You don't need to have constant patrols because the populace is just moral. And that's why I kind of like this type of stuff in these debates, because I hope that at the end of the day, that's maybe what we're all encouraging each other to do, because really that is the solution. We just all need to be better people.
You know, I honestly, I'm one of the people that think that we don't need new laws. I think we need harsher punishment for the laws that we already have.
I think we just need better people in society. I think that's the answer.
I think harsher laws are actually foster better people. I mean,
but then you're trusting that they'll be enforced properly. Like you know, like the religious right in the 1970s is the whole reason that you have the propagation of LGBT culture today. Like they literally caused the opposite of the thing they were trying to do. Like they decided they were going to enforce homosexuality through the government, through law, and make it illegal. And then what happened is it started creating martyrs, because the government is bad at what you tell them to do, pretty much always. So they find guys that weren't of that orientation at all and haul them away and arrest them, destroy their lives. They created martyrs, and then there was public outrage. And now what do we have? Now we have pride fests with guys shaking their junk in front of kids. You know, the religious right basically instigated socially by trying to mitigate, by trying to arbitrate to an extreme. Because at the time it wasn't a problem. There was a social stigma that basically kept people just doing this in their bedrooms. And who cares what people do in their bedrooms? No one should be involved in any, but no one should be involved in any of that but them. You know, and whatever they're deciding to do, that's their space. That's not to involve anyone anywhere. And people weren't out with it. It didn't have to be a whole big thing in culture where we all are forced to be morally obligated to a certain position about it. You know, it wasn't about all that. It was just there, but it was under the surface. It wasn't out and wasn't interfering with a bunch of things. It was just there, and it was fine. It had a certain stigma to it, and it was functioning, but that wasn't good enough. No. They wanted to make it illegal. They wanted to throw people in jail. They wanted to basically terrorize people with the fear of this thing and entrust government agents to be the deciders of such things. And they're terrible at everything. You're usually dealing with people that are hired with the lowest intelligence levels, not the highest. You know, these are bottom of the rung.
I never really knew this until I went to Chicago and went into one of their black museums and stuff up there. Awesome. One of their museums, it's supposed to be one of his museums. And then we went into like the little black expo part, and it was supposed to be like all about civil rights. And when we go in there, it's filled with LGBT shit. Right. And I'm sitting here like, because one of the things is, one of our argument is like, why do y'all keep on trying to integrate the LGBT thing into civil rights? But then when you, I don't know if this is just the narrative that the museum was spinning, but they were saying like they have always been there. The inverts have always been there with the civil rights movement thing.
No, not really. No, because it was really pretty closeted until the 1970s when it
was like the 70s, the early 80s. And shit, right?
It was forced. Well, because the religious right was forcing it into the public eye out of their desperation to just find some way to, satiate their puritanical bloodlust to, somehow bring some sort of old theocratic, rule into place, to punish people. The problem is the government's bad at stuff like this. So when it enforces it, and it was like taking two guys who are married, who are meeting for a beer, and they're in a bar, and they happen to be overheard by the bartender having a conversation. This is a true story, by the way. Happened to overhear, the bartender overhears them having a conversation about musical theater, which they both just happen to like, and they're taken as homosexuals. He calls the cops show up, arrest them both, destroys their lives. Wives think they're cheating or being gay with each other and they were just having a conversation in a bar. They become a martyr now for the opposition, for the opposite cause. And this is now where you get the infusion of all of this stuff and the moral obligation to make it permissible and acceptable in culture at large. It's because of this. It's because these people tried to overreach, tried to take the Christian framework and make it something legislatable and forcible, which only caused it to basically bounce back the other way. There are certain components of human morality, especially with what they do in their bedroom, that you just cannot legislate over. And every time you try, you're going to make a mess of things. So there's certain places I truly believe the government's got no business, and usually it's basically the two B's to me. It's their business and their bedroom. Those are the two places that I think the government should stay way the hell out of. Everything else, if they want to get involved in social order and laws and constructs and speed limits, that's fine. Stay out of my business, my revenue. Stay out of that. Don't get anywhere near that. Don't make me get licenses and a bunch of red tape and garbage and all that. So you most definitely
a Republican there.
Well, obviously, I can't.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe not a Republican, but you might vote towards.
I lean kind of. I have conservative views, but I also have a lot of libertarian views, and I don't think conservatives.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I got a lot of Republican views too, but I don't consider myself a Republican.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a.
What's my fault?
Yeah, I consider myself a nigga. Like
my wife.
We on some nigga shit. Like
my wife has always been pretty. My wife was always pretty hard left, really, and she opened my eyes to a few things, honestly, in terms of some of my perspectives, especially even like the drug war and things like that, and the crisis in Sweden and how they solved it by basically just legalizing everything,
right.
And it's I've adjusted my views even over the last couple years, to be honest with you, so.
Yeah,
this has really been fun, guys. Seriously, thanks for having me tonight. This really has been a blast. I should go. It's starting to get late. I got a couple things to do before bed, but this really was fun, man. Thanks for allowing me and hosting me. And yeah, I'll clip out this little bit. I'll post it up on my channel. I'll give you a shout out, post your links and all that stuff. And yeah, man. And by the way, I'll just leave this one final point. That guy coming in, that Calvinist, I don't know what his name was, but there was only one person in here trying to oppress a black man. It was him trying to get me to not share your channel in this debate and tell people to come to you and try and grow you up. I was trying to promote you. I'm trying to help the black man while he was trying to keep you down and oppress you. So that shows that he's the biggest clown of the night. But I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. I look forward to hanging out maybe a few times in the future and some more debates and spars or whatever. But I really appreciate it. This is a fun time. Really, it's the most fun I've had in the debate room in a long time, man. So I really appreciate it.
Definitely. Hopefully next week we can get you back for a debate review, and you can share your screen,
sure, man.
Watch one of your debates, and let people comment and see some of your work.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. No, that would be really cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Absolutely.
Go ahead and drop your email in the private chat so I can.
Sure. Let me do that right now here.
Before you leave out, I wanted to ask you a question. So you said you was in another debate league, because we would like to debate other people. It's probably getting a little tiresome. Keep on debating each other. So
man, I got a whole circle of people that I can introduce you to. We got Calvinists and Christians and free gracers, and I'm not too friendly with the free gracers these days, but I can always find some more people in orbit. And by the way, when I do my shows, usually they're pretty much always open room. The link's always posted in the side chat, so anyone can come in and contribute, chat, throw down, debate, whatever it is they want to really do. Sometimes it's slow and monotone. Sometimes it gets fired up and it's a real dumpster fire. So I got a good number of people out there that hate me, but they're also afraid of me, so they rarely show up. But nonetheless, it is pretty much always a good time, and you never know what's going to happen. You know, Isaac will show up and start talking to me about how his AI judged me as going to hell through the power of the Holy Spirit or something, or Praise will show up and tell me how, you know, all our sins are forgiven even when we're thrown into hell, you know, and all this weird kind of garbage. Yeah, it's a fun time though. It's interesting. Yeah, you guys, a lot of people get a lot out of it. So yeah, stop on by.
No problem.
I put my email in the back chat there.
Was entertained.
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. We appreciate you coming through, man.
Good
real,
stuff,
man.
man.
Don't let people like Leandre weak ass deter you.
Oh no, man, no. I got thicker skin than that. I've been at this for a while, man.
Shots at no barbarians while they ain't here. What's up, man? We ain't with that.
No, yeah, man. I debated standing for truth many times. I'm familiar with pompous posturing and empty bravado. Don't worry about it. Don't phase me no more. I'm good. So it's awesome to meet you guys, and thanks for having me tonight, man. You guys take care and have a good night.
You too, bro.
Have a good night.
Hey, man, Apollo, don't you ever try to correct me in front of no white man? What's wrong with you?
Hey,
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with you, man. Hey, that was actually a really good exchange after the, you know.
Yeah, I think everybody, you know, there was enough for everybody to get a piece of what they like. You know what I'm saying? It was information. It was back and forth. It was a nice sports session.
Yeah, man, that was pretty cool, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't what I was expecting. It actually turned out a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty dope. To the channel, he said he got a circle of people. That'll be dope to.
And we were really ready to exploit all of them.
Yeah, we need some fresh perspectives around here. Some fresh takes on
Yeah,
Damn, bro. Hey, yeah. I'm just like, I thought that shit was crazy because Buddy just said the same fucking shit I said. I'm just like, damn, this motherfucker's in my head. Like, get out of there, bro. Like, how you saying the same shit I be saying, nigga? Like word for word shit, nigga. Like you been listening.
Hey, yo, you was funny, man. You funny, man. That was funny. I was laughing the whole time. You're like, man, you been saying the same thing I've been saying. And then you was like, yeah, don't forget, he would just add one thing when he would give a list. He was like, yeah, add this. He would give a list of stuff about it.
I keep trying to tell nigga I got a pocket full of batteries,
I'm
bro.
like, yo, it's funny, man.
I got a pocket full of batteries, nigga. If you let me slip this motherfucker in you, nigga, you gonna be on go mode, bro. Once I seen Leandre was uncomfortable, nigga, I had to go in there and fucking get out a couple of sucker shots.
Shout out Ruger Hell 333 in the building. Yeah, we definitely need some fresh meat around here.
Yeah, man. Man, we need some true toys, man. We need some true toys. Hey, man, if y'all out there in the debate world, man, and you ain't no coward, nigga, step on up to the plate, man.
He definitely wants.
There's plenty of smoke to go around, man. Y'all ain't got to be ducking.
One of the best Pat Scotts back here.
Nigga, back in the day, we didn't have enough female debaters, nigga. We got female debaters now, nigga. We got female debaters that'll put you in your place. You know what I'm saying? So, like, bring it, man. Like, we ready to discuss any topics. Y'all want to talk race, religion, politics, nigga, whatever, nigga. Marvel versus DC, nigga. We on all this shit. We talking about everything. What it means to be a Titan, bro.
There's definitely, you know, a new round for people to get it on. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't built for the debate scene, but no, it's nothing for somebody to have a discussion. You know what I mean? A little back and forth. You know what I mean? If we get to that point, we might have time limits. You know what I mean? So everybody could get their point out clear. But yeah, we sparring session, man. Come in, get it
on. Hey, I don't know which song is better, bro. If the first song is better or it's the second one, because the second one slapped too. That's about the intro song, cuz. The motherfuckers slap, cuz. Like, hey, that shit ought to be probably on the radio or something, man.
Like
I really rock out to the intro show.
I think I'm gonna start setting up matches, right?
Yeah, for real.
For the
Set up some
spar
discussion.
session. I'm gonna start setting up matches. People in the back chat to be going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, you have to step up to the
Man, half
plate,
the
man.
niggas ain't gonna debate, bro. They just be in the back chat warriors like a Sabio. They get back chat warrior. He ain't coming about that ring, man.
No, I'm saying this is for the back chat warriors. For the people who don't want to do a whole debate, they ain't got that much information. So, they can have a little sparring session right here and go back and forth with their opponent on a regulated, stage.
Yep. I
All
like
right, man. I'm
it.
gonna get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, me too, man. It's been a good night. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching. See stuff like this. Well, you know what? I was going to do. They wanted to do a debate, and they was like, "Shoot, we don't care about the $50. We just want to get it popping." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm still not about to let y'all debate for free. Like, y'all gonna debate for something from the Titan store or something, or a hoodie or a T-shirt.
Right.
Like, I'm still about to bless y'all with something for putting on a show." So yeah, stuff like this too. We can, I don't know. We can also bring it over here. I could start making the flyers for the spar session, and get something nice. Oh, that would
Yeah,
actually be
man.
perfect. Actually,
Yeah, that
too.
would be perfect. You know what I mean?
It's
People
in
know.
boxing ring already, so
And we can have like 3-4 sparring matches set up. So it ain't just got to be one. You know what I mean? They get it on, then the next, what I mean, is two group is getting it on. And it could be team. It could be a team discussion too. It don't gotta just be no one-on-ones. You know what I mean? We get a whole crew up here.
Yeah, you said 2 times a week that you was gonna load it up, so we going. About to get it cranking, y'all. If you want the fire discussions, you know where to come to. Coliseum of Arguments. Only the brave speak here. Appreciate everybody who came up tonight. I'm about to hop in the back chat in the gauntlet, so I'll see you gentlemen back there if y'all want to chop it with me.
Yeah.
Everybody else
give
have
a
a
little
good
shout outs,
night.
man. Shout out to the Lions Den, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Bar Reloaded. Shout out to the Barbelonians. Shout out to my Barbarians, gang. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's heads on the wall. Yeah, I mean, and this is the Morse Barbarian burning niggas like a Targaryen. Time out.
Let's get it. And we're gonna end with the song by Connie Son, Family, and you can check him out on Spotify and all platforms. He goes by Connie. This is the voice that you hear on my intro song as well. And you'll see him on the panel from time to time. He's always coming up here, dropping game, giving us some powerful information. So make sure you support this brother.
Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin that's gonna pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. They talking, you listen, that's family. They don't tell your business, that's family. They calling your phone, coming looking for you. They say that you missing, that's family. They don't need permission, that's family. When you hurt, they can feel it, that's family. Let them come while you're cheering, that's family. Let them come when you living, that's family. Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. Hey, ain't nobody fighting around here. Ain't nobody shooting around here. Everybody that's around here, family. All love, no hate, be clear. No shade, all love, be real. You love them, you should know how it feel. Tired of all these badass kids. Tired of paying all these bills. Family going through the same thing, so they know exactly how you feel. They supply a shoulder I can cry. I provide a place where they can heal. Leave my money out, they don't steal. Let them have it if it's for a bill. Soldier for me when they in the field. Only way I live. Family all around me. Hey, family all around me. He my family, she my family, he my family, she my family, he my family, she my family. We are family all around. Hey, 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 family all around me. He my family, she my family, he my family, she my family, he my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin, that's gon' pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. Family all around me.
Thanks to everybody that showed up, showed out.
Peace.